Good afternoon, people. Welcome back to the show. It's the Gooner Tokes with me, Tokes, and it's Friday. Premier League is back tomorrow. Gonna get into all the games tomorrow, to be honest. Arsenal are playing on Sunday against Manchester United. Big game. Catch my preview. It'll be out tomorrow. Today, I wanted to talk about a bit of massive transfer news coming out, actually. It's a deal that wouldn't happen until the summer if it did at all, but he is definitely one of my favourite players and someone I've rated since the time he was at City. Gonna get into that in a second, but you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Let's grow the community together. All that lovely stuff. And yeah, Julian Alvarez. That guy is quality. A lot of reports coming out that Arsenal are looking to make a move for him in the summer transfer window. It's not something that's going to happen this January. Hey, would be great if it did, but I mean, as amazing as he is, we're just getting all these forwards back, and Arteta has to figure out who fits where, who has a long-term future, who doesn't, and I don't know if bringing in Alvarez is really possible at all in this January window, whether from the Arsenal perspective or the Atletico de Madrid perspective, because he moved to Atletico Madrid after Manchester City. I was really surprised when he left in the first place from City. He was phenomenal. He was a great alternative to have to Haaland, and whenever Haaland came out of the team, Julian Alvarez was able to come in and get the goals. They could even play together, and that is something definitely that Manchester City are missing up front, having that versatility, adaptability, and changeability of the players, really. So Julian Alvarez playing at Atletico Madrid, he's got a few goals this season, but he hasn't been starting a lot recently. That's why there's some of these, murmurings coming out of the club. And don't forget the ace up the sleeve for Arsenal Football Club, and that is Berta, because he was he was in charge of football operations over there at Atletico Madrid before he came over to us. And so he's got very good links and connections with the club. He was there when they brought in Julian Alvarez from Manchester City. So obviously he's going to have a good relationship with the player. So he's going to start maybe, doing some of his little moves and maneuvers, a little bit of Berta magic, because, hey, the summer transfer window was phenomenal from Berta and Arsenal. So much so that you don't hear Arsenal fans talking about bringing a player in this January. In any position. I can't remember the last time we were in a January transfer window and Arsenal fans weren't clamoring for a signing. So it just shows how good a squad we've built. And if we can add Julian Alvarez into that, sign me up. He is a quality player. When we played Atletico Madrid earlier this season, and yes, we smashed them, but Julian Alvarez was constantly causing us problems. He hit the crossbar as well with one shot, and he was always putting the defence under pressure. He's a tricky forward. That's the thing I really like about him. He's got a great shot on him. He's got great movement. He's really strong. He knows, tactically he's really good. He's got a good footballing brain. He knows where to be. He knows how to find space. I think he would be a phenomenal signing for Arsenal. Where he would fit in is a whole different combination. Is a whole different conversation. I mean, he's more like Gabriel Jesus than he is a Havertz or a Gyökeres. So, there's been talk about whether Jesus would be staying on at Arsenal. He's had, he's been hit with injuries a lot during his career at Arsenal. He's just come back to full fitness. He just got a brace in the last Champions League game against Inter Milan in the San Siro. So he's in good form. And if he can stay fit and we get the Jesus we all, hoped we'd signed and we've seen in, bits and pieces in his time with us, would it be worth trading him in for Julian Alvarez? I think that's an important conversation. Who would make way? Would we have 4 strikers? Let's say we signed Alvarez. Would we keep hold of Jesus and have Havertz and have Gyökeres? 4 strikers, that'd be amazing. I don't know how you manage the demand for minutes within the squad. I don't know how you would exactly keep everyone happy. I think 3 forwards, centre forwards, I think that's the ideal number, unless you stop thinking of Kai Havertz as a centre forward and have really the minutes shared between Jesus Alvarez and Gyökeres. But, yo, that would be a good problem to have. These are the problems we need to be talking about. And it's incredible that we're at this stage now as Arsenal fans. We used to be talking about, yo, Rob Holding or Shkodran Mustafi or you know, players like that, and wondering, oh, will they develop into such a good player? Probably not. Now, we're like inundated with choice. So many options now in the squad, all across the pitch, and especially in that centre-forward part now that we've got the players coming back and Jesus hitting form. And don't forget, Gyökeres scored a banger against Inter Milan. So once he really settles into the club and gets firing, where would Julian Alvarez fit in? I would love him at Arsenal. He's one of the players I've been talking about with my mates for years. I would love this player. He would be a perfect fit for us. So if we do make the move for him, I would be super happy. I just don't know what that means for players like Jesus. Do you know what I mean? So really interesting place to be in. These are the kinds of, you know, problems we were hoping for. This is what we all envisaged when we moved to the Emirates in the first place, and we were told it was going to put us, you know, able to compete with the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and the Manchester Cities, to be honest. And we're there. We are there. We're competing not just for players, but on the pitch as well. Top of the Champions League, top of the Premier League, in the FA Cup, in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. So we are an attractive prospect for any player these days. I think so many players are going to be looking at Arsenal as a big choice for them. We've got a lot of history. We're a classy club. Everybody that's ever played for us speaks super highly of us. So I'm sure it'll be easy for Alvarez to hear how good it would be to be at Arsenal. And like I said, the Andrea Berta connection would probably get the deal done if it's something that could be done. They're talking about 100 million, though. 100 million euros. You've got to say he's probably worth round about that. If you look at, you know, how much players go for these days, especially a striker who can get the goals. You know, it's the hardest thing to do in football. So I guess that fee is kind of more or less in the right ballpark. I mean, we've already earned a lot of prize money from the Champions League because of where we finished so far. And it's something that we can afford if we keep performing on the pitch and keep going deep into competitions like the Champions League, finishing high in the Premier League. We have a lot of, you know, spending power. So it's something that we could do. We're not going to need to bring in as many players as we did this summer. It's going to be, if we're bringing in players, it's going to be top level players that are going to raise the ceiling of our squad. So that's the kind of player that Alvarez is. That's the kind of player that we're going to be looking at these days. So we all better get used to it. This is the type of player we're going to be in for. I would love it. I'd love it to see him at the Arsenal. What do you think? Do you think this is a signing we can make? Do you think it's a signing we should make? What happens to Jesus if, you know, we decide to go for Alvarez? Is somebody going to have to leave? I don't know. You tell me. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments, but I ain't going to complain if we get us some Julian Alvarez. Do you know what I mean? Bring him on. Berta, do your job. Do your biz. You know what you're doing. You got our full trust, so get it done if it's doable. I would love it. But like I said, there's a lot of conversations to have about where would he fit in. I know he would fit in terms of his style of play, but dislodging someone, I think that's the conversation to be had, really. So let me know what you think, people. And yeah, don't forget, I'll be doing my match preview for the big game against Manchester United. It's a classic. I love that game. At home, at the Emirates Stadium. We got to get a win, you know what I mean? But check that out tomorrow. Hey, have a great day, people. I'll see you next time. Peace. Bye.